I wanted to make Minecraft as hard as possible, and hardcore just wasn't enough. So I decided to jump into the largest mod pack available in hardcore, and the only caveat is, I cannot use beds at all. So with that being said, let's get into it. This playthrough started out as any other, hitting things with my fist to collect more things to make more things to hit things better. Try saying that 10 times fast. Anyways, I did the usual of making stone tools and figured out that vein miner was a thing. This'll come in handy later. I checked out the quest menu and started frolicking on my merry way to find a place to call home. As the sun was setting, and I'd be lying if I said my butt wasn't extremely clenched. As I was roaming around, I found this nice little hole in the ground and decided to call it home. It was wet, cold, dark, and damp, which is very reminiscent of my childhood and made for the perfect place to build a home. I slapped this poop shack together quicker than the Amish, which was fitting because I still have no electricity and must rely entirely on torchlight, and began my journey into the mines to live out my dreams of becoming the ultimate troglodyte. Seriously, I spent like the first 3 of 10 days under the ground. After the most hardcore digging montage, I ended up finding some iron, which was then followed by a cave entrance. But first I had to make a furnace so I could smelt my iron to make an iron pick. Apparently I have amnesia, low patience, or both, as I forgot to make the iron pick and descended into the mines in search for riches. The smaller cave had an entrance to a larger cave, which had a campfire, which was very peculiar, seeing as it was underground. Upon further inspection, there was a lot of loot at this campfire, of which I had no clue what to do with, but as the greedy man I am, I took everything I could get my hands on. I found some various gems and crystals that I had no idea what to do with, and also took those. I encountered this man who was looking a little under the weather and put him out of his misery. I kept exploring and collecting resources for a little bit, but upon entering a larger cave, I decided I should probably go back and get a shield. So I went back to my humble abode and forgot how to craft a shield about 3 or 4 times before I finally got it right. I turned in any quests I may have completed and decided to go back down to the mines. There I found a cave spider spawner, which gave me some string and will come in handy when I need to make a backpack, and I found some diamonds. I found another one of these little camps and took everything they had as per usual, and then decided it was time to go back up to the surface. I did a little bit of inventory management, figured out what those gems did, and built a backpack. Upon realizing the normal backpack sucked, I upgraded it to an iron backpack. I headed back down to the mines to find a dungeon where I increased my knowledge of death, which is generally how I feel in the mornings after a long night out. Took the Shadow Walker perk as it seemed most useful to not have mobs constantly harassing me. I found some diamonds and then stumbled across a special dungeon, which housed the most deadly mob I've encountered so far. His name? Keith. Truly terrifying, I know. I made incredibly light work of him by running away and hitting him for 5 minutes straight. He gave me some subpar loot, and I went on my way to mine some obsidian. I made some obsidian with my bare hands, and used the vein miner to make light work of it. I told you, it would come in handy later. I went back to the surface, did some inventory sorting, and stumbled across Cassandra. Isn't she beautiful? I cheesed her harder than Swiss and was on my way. While I was doing some off-screen exploring to find a place to build a home, this happened. After that, I found a giant meatball in a hole, and as the Italian I am, I had to investigate. Sadly, it was no Chef Boyardee, but there were diamonds. I found this cool spot to set up shop, and started building. I like to lay out a dirt frame before I start building, just as a way to kind of lay out the groundwork, so I know what I'm doing and what I kind of want the build to look like. I know I've been doing terrible at counting, but this is around day 6. The house is starting to take shape, and a wandering villager came in and decided he wanted to trade. I had a couple blocks of emeralds from a pillager tower that I raided, so I used that to trade for diamonds, and then used those diamonds to make a helmet to trade for a basically max level enchant helmet. I had a mid-build crisis and thought it was ugly, only to realize, like my ex-girlfriend, it looks better further away than close up. I then moved all my stuff from the Amish hole over to the new dig. The moment you've all been waiting for, it's finally time to give our dog a name. I then decided to fittingly name him Jartavius Jaquavius III. May or may have not been on cloud 9 when I named him, but isn't he the prettiest? Anyways, another mid-build crisis made me change the entire roof to spruce. I think it's pretty boring to watch somebody build, and I'm very indecisive, so to keep this video from being 3 hours long, I've trimmed it all up. This made me want to cry, but I decided that I was going to the nether. I spent the rest of the last day converting the roof from light brown to darker brown, and with the sun starting to rise in the 11th day, I decided it was time to light the portal, and this happened. Ruined my cinematic moment. What? That's still day 10. Hell yeah, okay. Worth. And that closes the 10th day. Subscribe and hit the bell if you want to see the next 10 days. Bye for now.